Hey everybody, it's Tara Green here, and I'm talking about the Aquarius Supermoon, August the 11th. That's at 6:35 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 9:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and August the 12th at 1:35 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So you can see it is very complicated. I've drawn in pretty much every aspect there is here, but what you can really see, what stands out here, of course, here's the Sun, 19 degrees of Leo, Moon at 19 degrees of Aquarius. This is called the full sturgeon moon by Indigenous peoples here in Canada where I'm living. And so you can see there's Saturn, the planet of karma, limitations, obstacles, testing, very close to the moon. That means it's a very restrictive moon. The moon's in Aquarius, so it is definitely detached. You know, this Sun in Leo is in the sign it rules, so it's very happy, positive, optimistic, resourceful, shining like the sun, dramatic, big-hearted, okay? But the moon then puts a chill on things because Aquarius is an air sign. It's going to be detached. It's going to analyze the feelings. And so we're going to party with a group of people, a bunch of people we want to collaborate with. We're on the same wavelength on. But then there's Saturn there kind of really sobering things up. So Saturn is the planet of karma, limitations, obstacles, again, testing, fathers, the patriarchy, okay? So Aquarius is the sign of freedom, of revolution, and Saturn rules Aquarius traditionally. So Saturn tells us that if we're going to have a revolution, we still have to appreciate the things that were built historically. We can't throw it all out. We have to build upon it. We have to understand what that framework is. Okay, now, so Saturn, most importantly here, the Sun, the Moon, Saturn, squaring 90-degree angles. Astrology is all about sacred geometry. This is a 90-degree angle from the Moon and Saturn and Aquarius to the North Node of the Moon, which is our fated North Node collectively at 17 Taurus, connected to Uranus, the planet that rules Aquarius in modern astrology. So Aquarius, again, chaos, invention, pioneering, freedom, breaking out of the box. And then Mars, the planet of action, the macho planet, desire, sexuality, war, defenses. This is a triple threat here. North Node, also fated, karmic, with Uranus, big changes, big chaos, revolution, freedom, and Mars, we're angry as hell. We're not going to take it anymore. Always opposed to the South Node in Scorpio, which is the release point. So the North and South nodes are always opposite, and they are very important because they create eclipses. Now, we're kind of not yet in eclipse season yet, but this degree actually will square a future eclipse that's happening later this year. Okay, so it's important to think about it now because that eclipse is going to happen November the 8th, lunar eclipse at 16 degrees of Taurus. So this one will be, again, right opposite where we are now. So the things that we're planting now in 3 months, the lunar eclipse will kind of reveal hidden secrets about it, okay? Or we'll get a deeper emotional attachment to it, okay? The moon, mysterious, more feminine, more receptive, okay? So that's what they call a fixed grand cross. So fixed energy, the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius do not like to budge, okay? So this is like very much the four bulls in the ring fighting each other off. In this chart, now this is set for Washington, D.C., the ascendant over here is 25 degrees Pisces, and Neptune is sitting right on the planet. So Neptune is the planet of deception, of fake news, of delusion, illusions, projection, debt, oil, having stars in your eyes, projecting what you want to see. Neptune is conjunct to Juno, the feminine form of genius, and opposite the asteroid Psyche there. Just interesting. So this has a sense of really Psyche at 27 degrees of Virgo. I know it looks like it's in Libra there, but it's not. Listening to our gut instincts. Mercury, the ruling planet of Virgo, is right there in Virgo, and it is in the green lines here. This is what's called a yod, or a finger of God. For Mercury and Virgo, the extreme analysis, the extreme critic, the extreme warrior. Health, okay, work, serving people, okay. Now, it's in conjunct, which means it's 150 degrees to the moon, which is, remember, this is the supermoon in Aquarius, to Chiron, the wounded healer, over here, and Jupiter retrograde in Aries. So Jupiter in Aries, Jupiter is, again, pioneering. It's the good faith, it's optimism, it's testing. Sorry, Saturn is testing. It's the opposite of Saturn, okay? It is just go for it. We're going to be okay. It's faith, it's trust, it's rambunctious, very literally there. And Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries, well, Chiron's going to be moving through Aries for quite a long time. So there could be war things going off here, or food wars, again, because Mercury in Virgo is the harvest, and we can see that going on in Europe. Now, Mercury is also involved with Lilith over here at 13, Cancer. Lilith is right on the U.S. sun. So again, this is the shadow side of women. This is where the moon in Aquarius, technology, Saturn is there. You know, that's the restrictive principle. So this would, again, Lilith represents abortions, women fighting for their health rights. Again, Saturn and the moon there, again, very much a women's heightened energy, and people beginning to understand the bigger picture. Saturn Aquarius is like clear thinking, I would say. Okay, now Venus has just entered Leo earlier today. So Venus at 0 Leo, when planets are at 0 of any degree, that's a new beginning. Of course, Venus finished her home sweet home, foodie loving time in Cancer, very fertile, very feminine, into Leo, where now we're going to party while Venus is in Leo. Okay, and Ceres, the great mother, the great goddess, is also at 8 degrees of Leo in a fire trine to Jupiter in Aries there. So again, celebrating our mothers, celebrating the earth, celebrating our hearts, celebrating with joy, passion, you know, having fun. Okay, Pluto at 26 degrees of Capricorn, still, you got to remember, this is still, the U.S. is still experiencing its first Pluto return. Okay, it is opposite Venus. Okay, there was just an exact opposition, but it's still there. So this is power struggles. Again, Venus values women, women taking the power. You know, Venus and Leo, women are the queens, you know, when Venus is in Leo. Okay, now what else have we got here? Wanted to talk about everything here. Athena, the battle strategist, the city of Athens is named in her honor, 18 degrees of Gemini. It's also squaring Mercury and squaring Chiron. Sorry, sextiling Chiron. So again, we want to talk about our wounds. We want to have strategies for our work and what we're doing. And a lot of people are reconstructing, deconstructing what they want to do with their work. So really, this is a very powerful, powerful full moon, especially because it's going to trigger, again, like eclipses that are going to happen further down the line. Okay. Also, there is the May 16th lunar eclipse that happened. It was at 25 Scorpio, not that far off from this one as well. And I think earlier, 2017-18, there were eclipses around 19 degrees of Leo. And I've been thinking about Edgar Casey's prediction. I believe it was August the 11th, 1999. There was a big solar eclipse that he predicted was like the end of the world. And then people thought, well, nothing happened. But again, it's just like the Mayan end of time in 2012. You know, those calendars changed all the time. So it's kind of hard for us to figure out exactly when those dates happen. Okay, I think the in conjunct here from Lilith to Mercury to the moon is really, really important, because Lilith in Cancer, right on the fixed star Sirius, the brightest, most beautiful Sirians. We just had that lineup, you know, the Lion's Gate. This is still part of this energy. And there's Lilith. She is the shunned feminine, the first woman before Eve. Women's sexuality, you know, women's freedom. Okay, there's another in conjunct here from Pluto to the sun. So this one's also very important, because the sun is our ego, it's our identity, it's our heart, it's our willpower, and Pluto always rules the underworld. So again, this is where we're not in touch with our shadows. And again, Neptune on the ascendant here, we're projecting our own unconscious energies out into the world. So those that we think are the enemies, it's really our own enemies operating there. Okay, Moon to Chiron, again, that sextile. Don't want to be defensive. You want to, you know, lay down your arms. That's a Joni Mitchell song, actually. So really, you will feel the tension here. There's also a big Earth trine here, a big grand Earth trine from Pluto in Capricorn to Mars in Taurus to Psyche. Okay, Psyche, which She is the asteroid of psychology, of the soul. So this is a very, very soulful energy here. And with Mars and Pluto in a trine, a helpful, positive, supportive, earthy aspect, we can really learn to trust our gut instincts more than anything else. Remember, Pluto is finishing out his long tour through Capricorn, which it started in late 2008. Pluto's not that long before it enters Aquarius, which is for the first time in about 246 years. It happens on March 23rd, 2023. It will then backtrack back to Capricorn a bit and will finally enter Aquarius in January 2024. So, I believe that Pluto's going to be even more impactful, more powerful, more tearing down the old orders, really decapitating, a lot of rulers. Remember, when Pluto enters Aquarius, it's like we're entering literally a brave new world. That's a techno world. That's the AI world. That's the cryptocurrency world. That's the digital world. That's the robotic world. But because Aquarius is a dual sign, I believe that there's going to be this promised split that I was told about years ago, a split in the Earth's consciousness between people that really wanted to be humane. Aquarius is a human sign. So the humanity, Aquarius traditionally represents the most ideal of human relations, traditionally, okay? So what the I Ching, the Chinese Book of Changes, would call the superior man. I know it's very patriarchal, the I Ching, but and so working collectively, that's what Aquarius is all about. People collaborating to make the world a better place for everybody. There's no more hierarchies. When Pluto gets into Aquarius, that's where all the biggies, all the kings and the queens and the big corporate heads and royalty falls. Okay, now that's going to really happen from 2023. When Pluto finally enters Aquarius in 2024, it's going to be there for 20 years till 2044. So again, a very long period of that. So think about on this Aquarius full moon, it's highlighting what do we feel, what can we intuit. Aquarius is really all about, especially with Saturn there, because it's a very sobering, it can be very chilling, Aquarius. You got to remember, you got to face the technologies that's been inserted to people through nanoparticles in the air, from chemtrails over the last 20 years, from all the pesticides and the neurotoxins and the GMOs and all of that stuff. We have to deal with that. Now, there is technology, benevolent technology, that can fix all the ills, free energy, real Nikola Tesla, all that stuff is possible. But the people, that's what Aquarius really represents. The people collectively have to revolt against the tyranny, the power over, the fake news, all of that stuff. So, wishing you a very rebellious, freedom-loving Aquarius full moon. I saw the supermoon earlier tonight. It was gigantic in the sky. It looked pretty full, even though the full moon isn't until tomorrow. And also, it's the Perseid meteor showers peak tomorrow night, but the full moon is going to be so big it might get in the way. But anyway, wishing you all the best blessings. Now you want to look at where these 4 fixed signs are in your chart to see how this full supermoon is affecting you. Now, it's called a sturgeon moon. So the sturgeon is the fish that gives caviar, and it's like a dinosaur fish. So there's something unconsciously primeval about this full moon, and the moon always represents ancient memories. So think about that. And also with Neptune on the ascendant there, pay attention to your dreams. I know usually the full moon makes me very restless, makes people stay up. Lots of babies are born on the full moon. Sit and meditate, do some ceremony, make some offerings, Aquarian type of offerings. And I'm wishing you all the best blessings. If you want to get in touch with me, I am at tarottarot.com. Please subscribe to my channel.